Hi everyone, my name is Piterpakulski. Today we'll continue building financial model for a manufacturing business idea. Today we will be talking again about direct costs, and this time we will be linking these type of direct costs to the shifts, to the amount of shifts that we have on production line number 2 and production line number 1. I hope you will enjoy this video. Please give us a like, subscribe, share this video with your friends. You can also order financial models from scratch for your unique business ideas. We can help you with that. At the end screen of this video I will be giving you the link to the playlist where all these tutorials will be placed. And when I finish this model, I will be giving the links on tutorials how I created this model from scratch in the description of this video as well, so you can watch all the tutorials from scratch, video by video. Hope you enjoyed it. So give us a like, subscribe, or order from scratch. First of all, let me just give you a quick overview what we did before. So in our financial model, so blue is the unique color which goes with all our inputs. So if we would like to play with inputs, we are just searching for these cells. They are marked specifically. Other cells are formulas, so we are not touching them. So in our model we have two products, product A and product B. We can switch on and off each product from calculations, just doing like this. Here we specify the productivity, how many units of product A and B produced hourly. Then we have some coefficients that we will use while we will be playing scenario analysis many steps ahead. We have two lines, production lines. We can switch on and off each line from calculation. For each line we can allocate the time devoted to production of product A and product B. Here it is. Then we specify when we start operating activity, when we get the first revenues. Then we assume that each line has the maximum of 3 shifts. We can switch on and off each shift, and then we specify when each shift appears. So the first shift appears on the first month of operating activity, the second one appears, let's say, on the 20th month of operating activity, so this will be July 25, the third will be, for example, on 39th month of operating activity, so this will be February 27. So here we can specify when each shift appears. This will affect revenues, direct expenses. Then we specify the duration of the shift in hours. Then we move to how many work days we have inside typical year. So if we do have some seasonality, we can specify. Then we move materials. Here we have the library, the list of all raw materials which participate in manufacturing process. Here we specify what is the price of 1 unit of this raw material per 1 matrix of this raw material, per matrix of this raw material. Here we have coefficients for future scenario play. Then we specify if there is any logistics time period between between the moment when we need this raw material on site and the moment when we purchase it, because sometimes it takes us some time to bring this raw material to on site. So for example, some raw materials we may pick, for example, in China, it will take them 2 or 3 months, for example, to get to our manufacturing site. So that's why we also have this parameter, because this will affect the amount of money that we will need to start our manufacturing business idea. Then we have a chance to specify the purchasing intervals. For example, one means that we purchase these raw material monthly, once in a month. This means that we purchase this raw material once in 4 months, or once in a year, once in a 6-month period. So we are using these inputs to calculate the amount of real amount of money that we will need to start this manufacturing story, because this will significantly affect the amount of investment needed. Then we move to, for example, product A, specify what raw materials participate in its production. Then we specify the consumption of this raw material to produce one product A. Then we do the same for product B. Then we are moving to investment plan. So here we specify what we invest during the investment stage. Then we specify when we invest during the investment stage. So this is the moment when we start operating activity. And here we specify how much we invest in this or that investment plan item. Then we are moving to payroll. So this is the coefficients for payroll, local, global coefficients needed for the future scenario play. So this is the payroll for line 1. So here we have the list of positions that work on line 1. This is the salary of one person on each position. This is the amount of people on each position, depending on 1 shift work, 2 shift work, or 3 shift work. So here we specify this information. And this is the payroll values depending on the amount of shifts per day. So this is the story for line 1. This is the story for line 2. Here we specify the payroll which is not flexible towards the amount of shift. This is management, office payroll. So these are the positions, amount of people on each position, salary per person on each position, local and global coefficients for office salaries. Then we move to direct payroll, which is linked to the amount of product A and product B produced. So these are the articles. This is the value of payroll, direct payroll per 1 unit of product A. This is the same story for product B. Then we start moving to the revenues. So here we have for product A we have 3 types of customers. Here we allocate the percentages of units produced between 3 types of customers for product A and product B. Then we have different prices for different types of customers for product A and product B. So these are global pricing coefficient, local pricing coefficient for product A and product B. And here we also have some local coefficient, pricing coefficient for specifically for each type of customer. So these are prices, and here we specify how these type of customer is gonna pay us. So for example, this customer pays us, for example, we sold today and we get only 10% of revenues of this deal today, and the second part, the 90% of today's revenue, we will get only after the next month. but the price will be higher for this type of customer. So here we can specify how the customers is gonna pay us. So if we put here 0 and 100%, this means that we sold today, but the 100% of revenue we'll get on the next month. So then we are moving forward. Then we specify electricity cost, so this is the price of electricity, dollar per kilowatt. Here we specify how many kilowatts are consumed by line 1 and line 2 hourly. And then we move to we specify the direct expenses linked to the so these direct expense linked to the hours of line and 2 operation. These direct expenses are linked to the amount of raw materials needed in our production. So when you have some business idea in mind, you have to link your direct expenses to the right parameter of inputs, because when the revenue will grow or decrease, all direct costs must increase or decrease the right way. So that's why it is very important, because this will affect the profitability, this will affect payback period, and further and further and further. So this is very important. Then today let's focus on direct expenses linked to the amount of shifts. First of all, we have two lines. So we have direct costs linked to amount of shifts. So this will be line 1. So this will be just a second, direct expense linked to shifts, line 1. So this will be direct expense line 1 linked to shifts, item 1. This will be, here the value will be dollar per shift. So this will be the header of this table with items. These will be the inputs. So I'm coloring it with specific color, which goes with all our inputs. To shifts amount. Here I will need the total. So here I will be just placing some data, some inputs. So these are the inputs, so I'm coloring it with blue. Then direct costs, linked amount on shifts. Let's add some coefficients, maybe. Insert. So this will be the global coefficient. The global coefficient will be 100. The basic value for this coefficient now we will have global coefficient, then we'll have local coefficient, and then I will put final value of this expense. So let me so global coefficient will be like this. Then this will be local coefficient, and the final value for these expenses per shift will be this value multiplied this coefficient and multiplied this coefficient and multiplied this coefficient. So for example, let's do like this. Now let's do the same for line 2. So this will be direct expense line 2. So here we will be adjusting this formula. So we can increase separately this cost or this cost, all of them, or all of these costs. So from these two tables we need just this value and this value. Now we need to calculate the amount of shifts. Let me copy and create a new table. So this will be amount of shifts. So this will be amount of shifts for line 1, for line 2, and now let's calculate the amount of shifts that we have. So now let's go up, and now let's go down and see what tables we need. Shift. So here we specify, as here we can see shifts day per line. So these values are daily. So I will need this line multiply on the amount of days, work days per month. So here we have the amount of days, and I will take this line. Here I will freeze the line. Now I will extrapolate this formula to the bottom and to the right. So this is the amount of shifts that we have, and now let's copy this table. Direct costs linked to amount of shifts, dollar per month. So here will be line 1 and line 2, and now I will multiply the amount of shifts monthly value on this cell that we already created. This is for line 1 and this is for line 2. Now I will extrapolate it. So these are the values of direct costs linked to the amount of shifts monthly for line 1 and line 2. So this could be, for example, the expenses of the uniform needed each shift. So we can, for example, if we want to increase these expenses twice, for example, 3 times, we can easily go here, use this coefficient. So scenario play can be done very easily, and that's what we are fighting for. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give us a like, subscribe, share this video with your friends. You can also order financial models from scratch for your unique business ideas. We can help you with that. At the end screen of this video I will be sharing the link to the whole playlist where all these tutorials will be placed, and when I finish this financial model I will place all the tutorials links in the description of this video as well, so you may watch video by video and do your model yourself. So I hope you like what I was showing you today. So see you guys in next videos. Thank you and bye.